Welcome back, class, to the second day of scatterplots, and today we'll be talking about the line of best fit. And the line of best fit is a line that you're going to create among the data that you think best fits the data that has been provided. And we do this by hand in 8th grade. We make an estimate and we say it's the line of best fit, but it's our best estimate of the line of best fit, and that's the best we're going to do this year. When you get into algebra next year at the high school, you'll use the calculator for it, and the calculator knows the exact line of best fit. It does lots and lots and lots of math that would be pretty tough to do by hand, and it just figures it out perfectly. We don't have that luxury this year. You're not allowed to use that calculator on the state test. So we're gonna make do, and actually it ends up making more sense to you anyways, rather than just plugging some numbers in the calculator and seeing what happens. So let's start by looking at Mr. T. So this just gives an estimate, or gives a small, short understanding of what the line of best fit is. And it says, consider a scatter plot with strong linear association. So we talked about this last time, this strong linear association here. And it says, in order to describe the association quantitatively, you can estimate a line of best fit for the scatter plot. That's this line right here. A line of best fit closely follows the linear pattern of the data points. And Mr. T is jokingly saying, I pity the fool who doesn't use a ruler. So I know I've been yelling at you a lot for using a ruler. And up to now, it's just been aesthetics. It looks bad when you don't use a ruler, and it looks better when you do. For this, you could be wrong if you don't use a ruler. So if you thought I was going to give you a hard time last time, or when we just make equations of lines, I'm going to give you a real hard time now if you don't use a ruler. You have to use a ruler. You will get things incorrect if you don't use a ruler, and you'll see why as we go through. All right, let's see the next slide here. So here's just a breakdown of the method, or one of the methods for drawing the line of best fit. There are other methods, but we're going to use this one. I think I hear my cat puking in the background, so if you hear something weird, that's what it is. It's so gross. All right. Step 1, plot the points. That's the step you did all last class. Step 2, use a ruler to divide the points equally into 2 sets. So you kind of set the ruler down, and you try to keep about half the points above the line. This is not an exact science, but roughly half the points above the line and half below the line, and it's okay to have some of the points on your line. You select 2 points on your ruler, on your line, that the line goes through. So, well, yeah, if it's on the line, then the line goes through that. And use them to draw a line through the data point. So you kind of I try to pick a point near the bottom and a point near the top and draw the line that cuts through it. There's this caution thing here. This is what a lot of kids try to do. They just see a bunch of dots and they try to connect as many as possible. And that's really not what you do. And you certainly don't play connect the dots or constellations in the sky. It has to be a line, and it doesn't matter if it hits points or not. What matters is the line looks like it's the best fit for all of the data. And what then a lot of people try to do is just take the furthest ones on the outside and connect those two, and often that doesn't provide the best line either. So there's a little bit of judgment call here, and not everyone's going to have the exact same line. Therefore, not everyone's going to have the exact same equation, but you should be pretty close to each other. All right, next slide. Notice I haven't written that much yet. Okay, so this just gives a real simple example of what a line of best fit should look like. So if you can see under these lines, there's 3 lines here. There's a bunch of data. And these 2 are kind of on the outside here. But most of the data is collected along line B. So in this case, line B would be the best fit line. And then over here, even though this line right, or this dot right here is on line P, it hits a couple other points, really most of the data is heading downwards with R. So this is the kind of question you really want on the test, and there'll be at least one of these where he just says, which of these is the best fit. All right, moving on. So here's an example. Let me get rid of that underneath there. And we have, I don't know why they have U and V. If you want to change it to X and Y, you certainly can. But they just gave you just a big old blank graph and a bunch of coordinates. So what I'm going to do is pause the video again in a second and plot them all, because you don't want to watch me plot all these points at the same time. So they'll just magically appear again, and if you want to pause the video right now and then check in a minute, great. And abracadabra. So hopefully yours looked similar to this. You'll notice a couple things, that nearly all the dots are a nice kind of line that we notice. There is one here that is an outlier that we talked about last time. So when we make our line of best fit, we will totally ignore that outlier. It shouldn't affect it, shouldn't bring it towards it at all, because we've now called it an outlier and we don't really want to pay attention to it, we want to ignore it. So this is a lot easier with a ruler, and I wish I could hold the ruler up and actually draw the line showing you guys this, but I'm going to use this line tool, which works pretty well. And this data really doesn't veer off that much, so I'm going to go right in my first data there and just kind of adjust and kind of nick the last one. It's close. Oop, I kind of dove down there a little bit. Let me try that again. Nothing's going to be perfect, and that's okay. And I think that line was smooth. That looks a little jaggedy right now. Oop. There we go. So there's my line of best fit. Looks pretty good. And what we're going to do next is come up with the equation of the line of best fit. And I don't know that we're going to do it with this one. We're going to check out another one, and we'll make that part of a new video. So we'll end this video here. Hopefully you understand how to do a line of best fit. And the next part will be to tackle the equation of that line of best fit. All right.